My friends, you should be excited for this video because I'm going to give you some information that could potentially change your whole life. It's that powerful. But before I get into that, I'm going to talk about something that's very related to the information that I'm going to give you and might be very related to your life. Now, I know a lot of people that watch this channel, they also watch a lot of very right-wing political commentators on the internet. And it sounds kind of funny to even say that these people are far right wing or whatever, because 20, 30 years ago, these would have just been normal mainstream opinions. These people could have been Democrats. It would have been things that most people would have agreed on, but in today's climate, they're considered very far right wingers. Now, a lot of the things that these political commentators, these far right wing political commentators say, it's very black pilling. And what I mean by that, they talk a lot about they say a lot of harsh realities. The things they're saying is true, but they're talking about everything that's wrong with our society, everything that's wrong with the world. So they're not saying things that are exactly false, and it can be very beneficial to you to be aware that these things are in the world, but it's very blackpilling. Like I said, this is the ugly truth of things. And now, a lot of these people, they also like to complain a lot about President Trump. Now, me personally, I could also give you a list of things that I don't particularly like about President Trump, but there's a few things with that. Number one, a lot of the times he could have extra information that we don't know about, so he could see the larger scale of things. And number two, with my complaints about President Trump, I could be wrong. He could be right. There's a good chance he knows better than me what to do. And number three is people, even people we love, your parents, your children, whatever, we often disagree with people. No matter how much, you're always going to disagree with people. No matter how much you love and respect that person, you're going to have disagreements. But these people, they complain about President Trump a lot, but it reminds me of when President Trump was first elected. I was not living in the United States at the time. I wasn't in America. And I remember the night before, it was a little bit depressing because I remember there's one media publication, I think it was Huffington Post or one of those, they declared that Hillary Clinton has a 98% chance of winning. 98%. You don't have to be a statistic genius to understand that that's basically a sure thing at that point. So when I woke up in the morning of the elections going on, I didn't get on the internet. I didn't want to look at any of that. All I did was I went downstairs, I went to the pool, I just sat in the sun, tried to relax, tried to take my mind off of things. And when I came back up, I could hear my wife in the bedroom. She was on the computer streaming the news about the election, the updates and everything. And I come in and I say to her, "Turn that off. I don't want to hear it." And she's kind of like, "Boy, what's gotten into him?" And I said, I just don't want to hear that right now. I don't even want to think about it. And she's like, well, why? Things are looking really good. It looks like Trump's going to win this thing. And now my wife is a very positive person, and I'm thinking she's being overly optimistic here. And I said, I just don't even want to see that. And she's like, no, I'm telling you, I think Trump's going to win this. That's how it's looking. So I go in and I sit down and I start watching with her. And the forecast is looking up. It is looking like Trump's going to win. Because one of the reasons I want Trump to win so bad was being outside the United States. I was thinking, for the first time in my life, I'm going to be ashamed to be an American. It's going to be such a disgrace to walk around as an American, especially in a foreign country. If you were in the United States, maybe you can't understand some of this viewpoint, so I'm trying to explain it to you. But maybe you can imagine going to another country and having Hillary Clinton as your president, as your representative. Can you imagine how embarrassing that would be? And we're watching the election updates, and things are turning around. You know, it's funny, too, before all this, even though I had this kind of dreary outlook on things, and I believed the mainstream still, for whatever reason, that Trump was going to lose, there had been people that I'd been hearing talk on the internet weeks before the election, even leading up the few days before it, even after that Trump tape came out, and people were saying, don't worry about this. The media, their polls, they're fake. Trump is actually going to win this. And even when the updates were going on, it's kind of funny because networks, for every election, they want to be the first to call it, to declare a winner. And the longer this thing went on, the more obvious it was getting that Trump was going to win. And I remember Megyn Kelly, who I'm sure is not a Trump fan herself, I remember her at one point late in the election, she's going, why aren't we calling this? Why can't we call this already? And even before that, like while all these updates were going on, there was a guy I was watching on YouTube in Florida, and he was talking about, it's wrapped up, baby. Trump won Florida. He was with all these Cubans in a parking lot, and he's like, look, there's no way Hillary Clinton's going to win this. And there was a lot of conspiracy theories that started going on because they wouldn't call it, because they're like, are they trying to steal the election? Because it should be obvious to most people that Trump's the winner already. But eventually Trump won, and I didn't have to walk around that day, or currently right now, I'm outside the United States, I don't have to walk around having that shame that Hillary Clinton would be the president of my country, that disgrace. So regardless of what Trump does, I'm just happy that I can walk around having a president that we can be pretty proud of, that I like having this guy, that he's a very cool guy, he's a very fun guy, even if we don't necessarily like everything he does. We have the coolest, most fun president ever, really. So I'm just so happy about that. But if you listen to these guys that just complaining about, even like recently with the whole World War III thing, and you saw my video about that, how I told you I never freaked out about it, it's just usual nonsense. And or like the missile strikes in Syria, people are like, Trump is betraying us, he was supposed to be anti-war, but it turns out to be a big nothing in the end. So they can talk about these things, and these guys, even though they're well-meaning guys, these commentators, and I like these guys, I think they're good people. But if you listen to it, especially anything regarding politics, it can get you in this like stuck zone, and that's not where you want to be. So here's the information that I'm going to give you. It's actually a challenge, and I don't know that you can do it, but it's okay, because I want you to try this for at least a month. If you can't do a month, do a week. Preferably, if you can make this a whole lifestyle, what I'm going to tell you, and try and do it lifelong. And look, I'll be upfront with you, you're going to fail at this. But it's okay when you screw up, you fall off the horse, just get right back on and don't even make a big deal about it and keep going. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Don't try, but do. Speak only about what you want. Speak only about what you want or what you like. So this can be talking about material things like, oh, I can't wait until I get that new pickup truck. I can't wait until I get that new belt or whatever, or that new suit, whatever you want. It can be something material. It could be a feeling. I can't wait. I'm so looking forward to being financially secure. It's going to be awesome to have that peace of mind, that feeling of security and not having to worry about finances or whatever anymore. Or I can't wait to go compete in that tournament of whatever you compete in. So it can be a material thing, it can be a feeling. So or just talk about things that you like. Like if you see a beautiful car, be like, man, that's a beautiful car. Oh, I really like that color of blue. That's a really unique color of blue. Or, oh, look at that painting over there. Boy, artist must have really been talented and smart to be able to do something like that. That takes some real skill. So you can talk about things that you want, talk about things that you like. Another way to think about this is to say only positive things. Now, you're going to have some negative thoughts. You're not going to be able to stop that, and that's okay. And it's best if when you have a negative thought, you recognize, I'm experiencing a negative thought. If you think that to yourself, that'll take away a lot of its power right there. But even if you're going to have negative thoughts, try to say only positive things. And my challenge to you is do this for at least a month. Try it for a month. If you can't do a month, do at least a week. And if you can do this lifelong, it's going to really be powerful stuff. But like I said, you're going to screw up, and it's okay to just acknowledge, well, I screwed up, I didn't do it, but it's okay, I'm getting back on the horse, I'm just going to move forward, I'm just going to do it from here on out, and it's fine. Now, of course, a few caveats. If you're, depending what you do for a living, like maybe you're a politician, you're probably not, or, depending, there's other times too when it's required that you be very honest, and sometimes you have to say negative things, of course, if you're being honest, and it's going to be a greater good when you're honest. So you might have to say some bad things, especially if it's truthful things. So I remember one time I actually got fired from a job because I didn't say negative things about a guy when my boss asked me, but I should have. I was trying to be a nice guy. There's a very important lesson that I learned, very important life lesson that I'm passing on to you. And after I got fired, I realized, well, it's my fault. I really wasn't being honest. When the boss asked me what I thought of this guy, I should have just said, oh, he's a snake in the grass. This guy, he's undermined. He's not a good guy. He's a weird guy. That's another story that I'll get to in another video. So, of course, if you have to be honest, you'll be doing yourself a better favor to say negative things about someone or something. So those are kind of the exceptions, though. And you have to use your God-given judgment, your discernment, your mind to know whether it's important to say something that's very negative and it's for the greater good. But in general, say only positive things. Only talk about things you want, things that you're looking forward to, or things that you like. So try that for at least a month. If you can't, like I said, if you can't do a month, commit to at least a week. And when you do screw up, don't even make a big deal about it. It's okay to acknowledge it and just say, okay, now I'm just going to do this from here on out. So try that. Let me know what you think. And go ahead and say something positive about this video down below. And watch some of my other videos and go ahead and leave me some other positive comments.